Did Sony just buy Halo? I knew that Sony was going to respond to Xbox buying Activision because you just can't let something like that happen and not respond, but I didn't expect something this big and this quick. Here I am on a Monday morning just scrolling through Twitter while I eat breakfast, and my friend Craig texts me a tweet from Jason Schreier, and it was a screenshot, so I read it and I was like, no, that's gotta be fake. So I went over to Twitter and I looked at Jason Schreier's account, and lo and behold, right there it said that Sony is buying Bungie for $3.6 billion. Now this is crazy for a lot of reasons. The first one being that Bungie is the studio that created Halo and really put the Xbox on the map, right? Like they're the reason that people bought an Xbox in the first place, despite the fact that the original Halo was available on PC. It was really the biggest console FPS at the time, and it's still one of the biggest console FPS franchises out there. But then of course, after they made Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODST, and Halo Reach, they bounced off of that franchise and the Xbox brand as a whole, partnered up with Activision, and made Destiny and Destiny 2. But because of that whole sequel thing, the way that they had to release expansions all the time that weren't that good, they parted ways with Activision, took the Destiny brand with them, and went independent. And now it looks like they're going back to a big publisher because, yeah, Sony bought them for $3.6 billion. I know everyone's going to round that up to 4, and it's going to kill me because when you're dealing with billions of dollars, you don't necessarily want to round that up because you're talking a difference of $400 million. Like, that's absolutely insane. And just from a monetary standpoint, relative to what Microsoft is doing with these studio acquisitions, I think Sony is doing a really good job here. I mean, $3.6 billion is a lot of money, but when you compare it to the over $68 billion that Microsoft just spent on Activision Blizzard and the $7 billion they spent on Bethesda, it looks a lot better because Destiny is one of the biggest games in the world still, despite the fact that it's a very old game by, gaming standards. It's been around for a while, but the seasons are great, the new content's been great, it's in the best spot it's ever been, and that's a great contrast point for these studios that Microsoft is buying, because Microsoft is only able to get both of those studios because they were in weirdly dire straits, right? Like Bethesda, it was obvious that they were trying to sell. Sony actually had the option to buy Bethesda. They made Deathloop exclusive. They made Ghostwire Tokyo exclusive. There were tons of rumors that Starfield was also going to be Sony exclusive, but then Microsoft literally made them an offer they couldn't refuse. And if you look at the history of the past few years of Bethesda, it's obvious that they were priming themselves for a sale. Their investors were really trying to get them to add microtransactions. They were working on online games like Fallout 76 and the Elder Scrolls Online. Like, they were trying to get their market cap up so that they could be sold for a lot more money because they're weird board of investors. Like, the people on their board of investors are just a bizarre mix of people. They obviously wanted to get out, and they were saying in meetings for a while that they wanted to get out. So it makes sense. And this Activision sale is obviously just coming on the heels of this big lawsuit that they've been a part of, all of these different allegations that have been going on there. Bobby Kotick has said he wanted a graceful exit from the company, and when Phil Spencer reached out to him in December, it seemed like a great call, right? They give all of this huge IP to Microsoft, let them shepherd it into the future. Bobby Kotick walks away with hundreds of millions of dollars, which is crazy when you look at how much he bought Activision for back in the day when it was failing before. He only paid $500,000 for that company, and look what it just sold for, $68 billion. That's absolutely insane. This also fills a huge gap for Sony because they don't have an in-house first-person shooter IP that's nearly as big as Halo. Obviously, Resistance is big, or was big at some point, and Killzone got pretty big on its own as well, but nothing really compared to Halo. But Destiny was always really big for them. Like Destiny 1, Destiny 2, they always had weird perks you could get along with the PlayStation version that you couldn't get elsewhere on Xbox at the time, like getting Hawkmoon, or the expansions dropping a little bit earlier on PlayStation. And it looks like that relationship paid off because now they own Bungie. So obviously, with Destiny 2 being an ongoing game that gets expansions and updates all the time, people have a lot of questions about this, and Bungie, gotta give them credit, was very upfront. The Destiny IP going forward is going to stay multi-platform. It's not going to be PlayStation exclusive. They're not going back to those old days I just talked about where PlayStation players are going to get bonuses or early exotic weapons or exclusive exotic weapons or expansions that drop earlier. It's going to stay pretty much exactly the same. And that's not just for PlayStation, that's for PC as well. But it really makes sense because just like with this Activision deal, Sony really can't afford to pay what they just paid for Bungie and make all this stuff exclusive. They need that cash cow, which is Destiny, because as a huge Destiny player, there are plenty of ways to spend money on Destiny. Of course, you have the expansions, like the Witch Queen comes out soon. We just had the 30th anniversary expansion, which added a dungeon, the Grasp of Avarice, which is pretty cool, and that was $25. The Witch Queen, if you want to get the deluxe edition, that of course comes with that 30th anniversary pack, was like $100. It also comes comes with the seasons. They do 4 a year or even more, where it's $10 for months of content. They have the Eververse store, where they're constantly adding in paid skins for guns, paid skins for armor, all of this different stuff that's just constantly generating money. And again, Sony would just be dumb to not keep raking that money in from Microsoft players. And this is great news timing wise, because Microsoft just got to announce again that MLB The Show 22 is going to be on Game Pass day one, a Sony developed exclusive. That news is totally flying under the radar now because Sony hit them back by saying, yeah, we just bought the people who put your console on the map. It's a good clapback. I don't really love the console war stuff, but I really wanted to see Sony hit back because Microsoft has just been kind of stomping them in the PR world, at least for a few months now, and it needs to stop. The other interesting thing here is that Bungie is working on a few different games. They're working on a new IP. A lot of other people think they're working on a hero style shooter in the Destiny universe. They're also primed to have Destiny movies, other media coming in the future. Like, they are having a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know now if it will be exclusive to PlayStation. I would really love to see them develop a new first-person shooter that isn't Destiny and make it exclusive to PlayStation and PC. We know Sony is doing that going forward with The Last of Us Part 2's multiplayer. It's going to launch on PS5 and PC from day one to get that huge player base right out of the gate. We know they love this PlayStation PC LLC company they just started. It would be great for them to start moving forward with Bungie, a company that has experience on consoles making great console FPSs, and then also has experience on PC making a great PC FPS like Destiny. I know Raven Software did that port, but I gotta say, other than frame rate issues, Destiny has continued to be great on PC ever since Bungie left Activision, so I don't really see any reason to complain about that going forward. And this is looking far off into the future, but when you've got a company like Bungie that's constantly releasing expansions and updates and things to spend money on for their game Destiny, and you've got it on tons of platforms like Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Stadia, you know, tons of different places just raking in money. Once they make this $3.6 billion back, they are making so much money on the Destiny IP that they can then turn around and start buying up other publishers. That's been the biggest problem for them this entire time. Microsoft is just spending ludicrous amounts of money that Sony cannot match. They just don't have the capital to buy the studios for the prices that Microsoft is buying them for. So if they're buying studios like Bungie for relatively cheap costs and making money hand over fist and quickly recouping that purchase, then they can start using that new market cap to buy other studios. I don't know, I'm not a business guy, obviously, like that was just very generalized and top level stuff. It's just something I can kind of see them doing to set up the pieces for a really strong future. And just so you guys get some perspective from someone who plays a lot of Destiny 2, like over 500 hours of Destiny 2, I think this is great. I have Destiny 2, the entire collection on PC. I have the exact same collection over on my PS5. It has cross save. It works absolutely phenomenally. When I'm on my TV, I want to play on PS5. When I'm on my laptop, I want to play on PC, and that just works great. If they continue that going forward, we're not going to have any issues. And again, I don't love buying into this console war stuff, but the 30th anniversary update for Destiny came out at the same time as Halo Infinite, and I was playing them both at the same time. Halo Infinite has some pretty solid weapons, but it also has a lot of weapons that are just completely useless, like the Ravager. I absolutely hate that weapon. Destiny, when they released this 30th anniversary update, they had a ton of weapons inspired by Halo weapons. We had the battle rifle with the BXR Battler. It literally is just the battle rifle, and it comes with a perk where if you melee someone, the next shot you fire at them is like an insane amount of damage. That was sweet. We got 2 energy swords, one of them purple, which is extremely rare. I still don't have it. One of them blue. It looks awesome. And of course, we got the Magnum as an exotic weapon where when you get the catalyst and level it up all the way so that you can apply it to the gun, it lets you convert one of your grenades into the frag grenade. Now, why am I talking about this? Because all of those weapons, just those Halo weapons in Destiny, feel better to use than the weapons in Halo Infinite. Like when I was playing Halo Infinite, I just kept thinking about how bad I wanted to be playing Destiny, and I switched over to Destiny. I went back, I did like 97 runs of Dares of Eternity, got Xur's creepy little bean ship, and I had a ton of fun doing it. So yeah, I'm excited that this is coming to PlayStation, that PlayStation is going to be taking advantage of this studio that just makes really good feeling first-person shooters. But yeah, guys, that's all I have for you today on Sony acquiring Bungie, which is something I cannot believe I am saying. Make sure you let me know what you think down in the comments below, and remember to subscribe and set your notifications to all if you haven't already. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.